I'm not even sure what I'm doing, but...
Nobody is sure what you're doing here.
Look, I can't hit the 1,
shoot a shot?
I can't hit the 7. I thought...
That was very...
I felt that might go.
That was very uncomfortable, Ollie.
Is this generally considered...
It's slightly frowned upon, but I'm all right with it because you do things like this on a daily basis.
I'm that guy?
Go with a little curve, man.
You hit it.
No, this is your shot, pal. I'm solid. I don't want to deal with this.
I don't want to deal with this freaking...
Oh, this will be quite the show,
My
ladies
God.
and gentlemen. He is Brent Hanks. I am Jeff Platt. This is No Gamble, No Future. Coming up in about 30 seconds, it'll be Ali Nejad. It'll be Nick Schulman joining us here on No Gamble, No Future.
We're in for a
Thank you
treat
all
with
so
them,
much.
Jeff.
Oh,
it's
boy.
like we're back in that pool hall where they shot that show, Super High Roller Club.
Yeah,
we're in for a treat.
This will be similar for sure. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we were joined by Uncle Ron for a trip to the sports book.
Were we
for
ever?
A little March Madness, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was quite the treat. Also, our cards, I think the Hanksy Heater just might be over.
No, it's not over.
might be over.
I had one. My head was
Might
in
be
the wrong
gone.
place. I was focused on the Bonnies.
Yep.
I wasn't focused on the winning. Now I'm back to focus on the winning. The Hanksy Heater is back. I'm as hot as ever.
We watched the Bonnies at Brent's place. You'll see some highlights / lowlights of that adventure. Of course, also Never a Doubt Degen of the Week. We encourage you to like and subscribe. If you are checking us out on YouTube, you click like, you click subscribe. It's pretty easy. And on Facebook, Brent,
Yeah.
you just click like.
I
right?
think it's the
No
same thing,
subscribe.
isn't
no
it?
subscriptions on Facebook?
No, I don't know. You just like it or follow it.
Okay. And one more final housekeeping note. We got hoodies. We have No Gamble, No Future hoodies. Shop.pokergo.com. Just a limited supply now available. They sold like fire.
They're gonna make more. It was our #1 selling product out of the store.
Hoodies, 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 and look at this background. We have arrived in Las Vegas, the space version of Las Vegas. That is what's hosting us on No Gamble, No Future. How about this?
It's beautiful, right?
this
Yeah,
is
it's
nice.
interesting. It's like we've landed on the fucking moon. Can we bring in Ali and Nick?
Let's
I'm ready
do
for
it.
these
Let's
guys.
do it. They
yeah.
will be on the call for High Stakes Duel II. It is the duo that we hope says no to gigs so that we can find work. It is Ali Nejad and Nick Schulman. Ali, kind of wandering. I like the location. What are you up to today?
Don't worry about what I'm up to, buddy. Just worry that I'm up to just general astounding levels of scumbaggery is what I'm up to. Here we go.
What is going on
there
here?
we go. Oh, look at that.
It's actually not my home. I just extreme coupon my way into some suite at the Delano. It's just ridiculous. It's
That's
absurd.
Mandalay Bay?
No, come on, man. We don't say
Delano.
that word after the incident. We stay at the Delano. Man, we don't stop.
Oh,
You
my
know
God.
what I mean?
Okay.
And Nick, it's just home base for you, yeah?
Home base for me, Jeff.
And you're thrilled
Yeah.
to be here with the
No, I have. I just Ali freaked me out off the bat, but here we are.
What? Ali, what are you?
What's up with this flannel you got going on? You go to the woods after this? What's on there?
I gotta chop a little wood, Nick. I gotta chop a little wood.
3 layers deep.
Yeah. Well, Jeff said I gotta match his, his autumn orange. This is the only
Feels like
color I
fall.
had.
Your set looks fantastic, by the way, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
That is all producer John putting us together in Las
Jesus,
Vegas.
Ali, what is going on with that hair?
What is the deal with
Currently,
that?
we do need to get the bubbles working here.
Is that a
There
tub?
it is.
Oh,
Are you about to get in a tub?
Now we're cooking with gas, boys. All right. Now I'm ready for my interview. Let's move
This
the
is just-
road.
Are you
Oh,
getting
my
in there
God.
right now? Are you derobing and getting in? Don't.
careful.
Oh God, there's like.
Persian kebab away from us. All right, Ali?
Whoa, that's steamy.
Oh
That's
boy,
steamy.
Oh, God.
this
We're
is
gonna stay out of that.
I mean, we can see reflections and stuff, Ali. Just be careful of what you're showing.
This is,
Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Oh, my God.
Ali, does this comp come from some degenning or what?
Oh man, you know what you
Oh,
think
he
when you
got
touch
in.
the water, it's hot, and then you actually get in it and it's real hot.
Yeah,
Oh.
I expect that.
You're in the tub. Is that a rose behind you? What is? Are those flowers?
Yeah. I mean, come on. You're sophisticated. When you gamble, they give you a future in the league. That's what they do.
My God.
I'm
Nick
trying
is.
to look how Nick is in pain right now, by the way. All he wants
I
is
think
to
I'm
get
having an
the
anxiety attack.
to end this. Which brings me, of course, joy, as you all know.
Oh.
I honestly thought that I drove Jeff nuts, but now seeing the relationship really right here with Nick and Ali, this is special.
Of course,
Yeah,
it's
it's special, all right.
Look at the bubbles.
That's a two-man tub.
Two-man tub. Oh, boy. So when you guys are streaming High Stakes Duel next week, I mean, are we coming live from the tub, or can we get you down to the studio?
Yeah.
Listen, I had a writer in my contract that all future commentary needs to occur from a portable tub, but that did not get approved. So,
Okay.
look at Nick's face. Look at the discomfort on Schulman right now.
Oh,
This is astounding. You want bubbles? I got bubbles.
just
Oh,
let's get an ISO on there. Oh, my God.
I thought it'd be hard to top Hellmuth and Negreanu at the same time on this show, but Ali Nejad in a bubble bath with Nick Schulman.
Oh, boy.
Nick, all right, this is part of my circuit training. This is how I can tolerate your shenanigans.
Okay, all right. All right, guys.
Well, Nick, before you storm off, your thoughts on the upcoming High Stakes Duel II featuring Phil Hellmuth versus Daniel Negreanu. What's your anticipation level like for this one?
You know, it's a great match, honestly. I don't know. I'm eager to kind of see how it unfolds like everybody else. I mean, it should be a good one. It's interesting, you know. Will Hellmuth's kind of weirdness sort of prevail? Like, it could go so many different ways. I suppose, you know, Daniel is the consensus favorite, a big favorite actually, and it's a little bit like I don't know. You know, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Are you going to bet on it?
You know, I for match one, I saw the line was something like 150, and I would be hard pressed not to take Phil at that price. I mean, this is a fast, not a super fast structure, but fairly fast. And you know, a lot of Daniel's preparation was in 100 BB effective stacks. There's going to be some short stack stuff going on. I mean, you know, I would be compelled to bet on Phil at that price, but.
Ali, what are your thoughts on that kind of a line as we see you just enjoying the bubble bath, just living the absolute dream? Your thoughts on Negreanu as a minus 160, minus 170. High Stakes Duel 2, which you guys have next week coming up on Poker Go.
I mean, I watched the beef cook like so many other people did during your interview with them on a previous episode, and I'm cutting two ways about it, okay? They've both known each other a very long time. They have tremendous respect for one another, but then there's these flashes, these moments of kind of bruised egos, hypersensitivity, and maybe some facades have been presented as far as the degree of respect that they have for one another, specifically in this format. And I think Daniel did a very good job of making sure to delineate, you know, when he was issuing these prop bets, which I'm unclear, you know, what, if anything, has been laid down, to say, look, obviously you're great in certain ways, but in this specific type of, you know, format, yeah,
Getting some bubble feedback, I think, here. I think you get some bubbles in your phone?
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that better? Okay. So I don't know. Basically, I remember going into the Doug and Daniel thing. I thought to myself, this is going to be the way to do. And as it, they were.
Should we tell Ali that we can only hear the fan in the bathroom and maybe?
I'm just captivated by the image that
I know.
we're
I'm
receiving.
just
It doesn't really
staring and
matter.
wondering
Yeah,
Speaking
Ali,
of
pan that thing down a little bit. Let's see the whole. You know
Yeah,
what
I mean, let's be a
speaking
little
of cooking
careful
beef,
with the panning.
Oh God! Oh my God!
oh boy, I think we've lost Ali actually connection-wise. So Nick, we're back on you here. Or do we have Ali? I don't even know. Do we have Ali, John?
You can just cut it off Wi-Fi. Don't give up on me that quickly.
Maybe we can disconnect and try to reconnect with Ali. We'll chat with Nick for a little
I'm
bit.
afraid
How's
of
that
where he's
sound?
going to be next if we come back.
Yeah, we disconnected there with Ali. All right, Nick, so anything you want to say about your broadcast partner? You know, the floor is yours at this moment.
Oh my God! No, there's a lot I could just. Oh man, why is he in the tub, guys? I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, he's in the nude, in the tub. Like it's just one of these things. It just, you know, there's many mysteries of the universe. We're gonna have to chalk this one up to the inexplicable. I mean, here he is with this fucking. I mean, this is just insane. No, I mean, echoing what he was saying though, it's like. It's a bit, it can seem a bit contrived between them, but then when you really watch, it's not that the beef is real. It's not a beef, you know, but there's definitely some stuff going on between them that's just genuine. And I've seen this in tournaments. I've seen them get into it not on TV, where it gets a little bit, can get a little nasty. And I mean, it's undeniable that sort of modern day Negreanu goes pretty hard all of a sudden. He's a different kind of guy. And it's like, again, some of it might be showmanship. We understand, like, everybody's eating good end of the day and all this, but, you know, we're all a little bit emotional. I think this last year took a, you know what I mean? I don't know, but Daniel's behavior has been a little bit erratic. It's been a bit aggressive, and Phil is Phil. So I do think that they're emotional sort of, you know what I mean? Like it's intriguing just from a human standpoint, just to see how they handle this. And I just want to say, like if Daniel loses, you know, Daniel's kind of taking like not a reverse free roll at all, because if he wins, it's still a W and all of that. But you know, there's a lot of pressure on him. Like if he lost to Doug, and now we're thinking, okay, like people are thinking, all right, he's going to come in here though with his new heads up game and smack Phil around. But let's say it doesn't go that way. You know, it's a lot of, so we could see some unraveling on both ends. And I mean, I don't know. Poker-wise, it's going to be interesting to see how the hands play.
Did you guys see the side bet that has developed ever since this high stakes duel has come to fruition, where Daniel challenged Hellmuth, and I believe Hellmuth did accept. He has to play 50 of the high rollers inside the Aria high rollers, if you will, and he has to show a profit after 50 of those tournaments.
You see that, Ali?
Just a single dollar.
Mm-hmm. He just has to have a single dollar profit. I'm curious, and I'll start with you, Mr. Tubb, Ali. What do you think about that bet? I mean, can Hellmuth beat these high rollers, especially against these different animals, including Nick Schulman, who plays in a lot of these Aria high rollers?
I mean, as you noticed, Phil was very much angling for less minimum matches, right? When Daniel said 100, Phil was kind of hemming and hawing a little bit. He wanted to go down to 50, and if they got it down at 50, I think it's kind of a sweet spot where certainly Hellmuth could show a profit. I mean, if you win one of those things, you know, there's a point at which you cash a handful of times and you could just hang up your cleats and you could just punt the other 25K buy-ins, you know, for 10 matches potentially if you're in the black. But obviously easier said than done. I mean, the level of competition that shows for these things it's absurd. It's like an all-star game any given Sunday. So, you know, I don't mean to not take a side, but I think, you know, people would be at mind. He said he has 0 shots, and he's obviously saying, and Daniel's going to win the bet. He's going to get ambitious too. But it's somewhere in the middle of those two numbers. Nothing is a lock, and obviously he still has a lot of reps against this type of tournament. You know, since the advent of Poker Go and a lot of these majors that he's participated in, you know, the guy's got a good resume. I don't know, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of these things. I don't like to sort of give opinions on this, just because it's kind of like I just want to kind of, you know, I don't quite know how to put it. It's like I can't say what a man is capable of. you know, but I can tell you those high rollers are extraordinarily tough. I look around sometimes and I don't know if I'm earning, you know, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for some of these players. And I'm not saying that just to say it. You know, we're talking about exemplary play going on at times. So, you know, we'll see. If he makes the bet, we'll see. I think conventional wisdom would say he's a dog, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what he's doing away from the table. You know, we can look at the road traveled thus far and make decisions, but for me, like, I don't like giving these like opinions on the way where various players stand, because it's just like, I feel like it's just not sort of what
it's never been your style. You never really like to jump on either side. But let's speculate for a moment. You mentioned his preparation, right? How many times over under set the line at 1.5? How many times has Phil Hellmuth used Pio Solver?
You know, opened it up himself and gone exploring.
Kind of lean under on that one.
I don't know, man. He certainly has talked somewhat disdainfully about modern day stuff, but then he doesn't, you know, and it's just one of these things. It's like, if we go down that road, you know, and there's it's just probably not, you know. I would play his ass heads up, I'll tell you that. You know,
you'd play him for anything, yeah.
Yeah, I'd try him some, and if he's in a tournament, you know, I'm gonna play my cards the way I play them. He'll play his the way he plays them, and we'll see. It's all about grasping EV and not, you know, minimizing, and just, you gotta play millions of fucking hands to know at the end of the day. But this bet is a start. I was surprised Daniel came after him like this, though. It's sort of like, I don't really, you know, a lot of sports, by the way, the guys in their 50s aren't exactly hanging in there with the youngest, best players. So I kind of don't even get the whole storyline. Like Phil's career speaks for itself. The whole argument too about the high roller scene versus the break. It's like, it would be great if the best players in the world truly were ranked and it was clear and fans could really know, like, man, you know, that they know, like, when you think of No Limit, you think of, you know, Nikki P and fucking Ali Imshirovich and these Russians and like some, you know, extraordinary player, Ike. It's like the first name that comes to mind. I get it that community might feel a bit some kind of way when Phil does his thing, but at the same time, like, he's grown the game, you know, like, a lot. So I just don't know. I don't know, man. But we'll see. I mean,
well, along those lines, Nick, Ali, has it become a somewhat tiresome storyline to you that Hellmuth doesn't get any respect, Hellmuth doesn't play any GTO, et cetera, et cetera? Are you tired of having to go back to that same storyline again and again and again throughout these broadcasts?
If at any point I felt as though the storyline was no longer applicable, then maybe I'd tire of it. But I think that as long as the modern era of poker, and obviously it's kind of a gray area as to when we determine when that is, but as long as I can remember it, and as long as it's been around, I feel as though it's been brewing, and I don't know that it's fading. I think that there's still, you know, there's people that are diehard. I mean, I read the Twitter replies and I look through the streams, and obviously that's just a small quotient of, you know, overall public sentiment that, you know, a lot of outspoken people have polarized opinions, but there's a lot of folks who just will always have that attitude, lock the doors, I'll play him forever. You know, let me get at him heads up. Let me, you know, put him in a small field, or I'll take the field and you take him and I'll lay a price, whatever it is. You know, nobody seems to believe in what it is that he does. And Nick, you know, he saw the same match I did against Antonio. And, you know, granted, a lot of people might question Antonio's capacities now that he's really transitioned to just being, as he calls it, a pro fish, you know, playing a lot of private games, playing against a lot of rec players and adapting masterfully to those sorts of games and cash games, you know, coming back in and having to face somebody in a, you know, tournament format like that somewhat, you know, it's, you know, it's fair to say maybe that wasn't the right opposition with which to evaluate Phil at present. But, you know, I'll tire of the storyline, Jeff, when I feel as though the guy has the respect that he deserves. And regardless of, you know, where he is today in the continuum and in the grand scheme of things, I think it's just undeniable that he still has the ability and the willingness and the faith in himself to go out and tackle, you know, these younger players, you know. And honestly, he's a master self-promoter too. So when we were talking about the Pile Solver situation, I'm wondering if he did, would he be outspoken about the fact that he is using those things? Because wouldn't that somewhat begin to force us to consider him as having adapted and transitioned and no longer being this highly delineated entity in poker, and he's more, not trying to beat him but joining them? So if he was using them, I don't know that he would say anything about it. If he was putting solvers to work, and honestly, I'm not sure he's not. But I think that it would obviously, when you're looking for every little angle that you can get, it would benefit him not to be right about having done it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that makes sense. I want to. Nick, you said something a moment ago too, and I want to touch on what Ali just mentioned as well. Bracelets and putting yourself out there as a promoter. Jason Kuhn had a post a little while ago where he got into it back and forth with some folks about why these high rollers aren't playing bracelet events, why they're not chasing the gold and the glory, and I totally get why Kuhn's not showing up and going after it. Nick, I know you personally, the bracelet means a lot. The last one you won, that meant a lot to you, and these events mean a lot to you. No, I don't think bracelets really reflect how talented you are, but let's not take away from Phil Hellmuth's greatness at the World Series of Poker, and let's not take away from Daniel Negreanu constantly going after it. I want to see, and I'm curious what you think, I want to see some of these young guns. I want to see Kuhn, Ali, Nicky P, the Russians you mentioned, Nick. Can we get more bracelet bets? Can we make these bracelets mean something so when the masses tune in to the World Series of Poker, you become familiar with a lot of these names that so many folks really don't know who they are?
Yeah, well, there are some high roller bracelet events, and also I think the bracelets are slightly more sentimental to the mixed game players, perhaps. There's only one 10K stud a year, one PLO8 a year, or so on, like the deuce to seven. So, for us, it's a nice little get together, see the boys and off we go kind of thing. Not that no limit, whatever. I don't know, Brent. I really don't, and it's weird too, because poker is one of the only sports in the world where you're almost reverse incentivized to openly be good. It's almost better if people think you're bad. We even talk about this. Nike isn't paying anybody to go show up. These guys aren't really getting sponsored. Maybe the very few have a little deal going with sites, but it's mostly like the streamers and kind of the personalities and stuff. It's not really about real deal greatness, like Reebok isn't calling Nikita Badziakuski being like, let's give you some sweatsuits and fly you out and pay your buy-ins. So they got to do what they got to do. It doesn't make sense for them to sit in a whatever. Me personally, I enjoy the series a lot. I like those kind of buy-in levels too. I do play some high rollers and I'll get in there and I play high stakes, but I also like to play a 1500 six max. I love it. And I play a lot of like 10, 20 no limit and stuff. So I'm really kind of like everywhere. Like I just enjoy playing poker and I'm centered with it. It allows me to just be in the moment. It's just what I do. So it's a different relationship for everybody with the game. It doesn't need to be so. Of course, bracelets don't signify who the best player ever is. It's an all-encompassing thing. But the truth is, our sport is weird. You're incentivized to hustle. It's all strange. I'd love to see some legitimacy on the one hand and see it grow to the way other sports have. Again, like not to beat a dead horse, but true rankings, all of this, it's very important for fans. But in poker, it's close to impossible. I think it's logical to say that the people playing the biggest buy-ins in the world are often among the most knowledgeable and adept at kind of navigating the deck. And if you play with Steven Chidwick or you play with Nikita or you play with these guys, it's like, God fucking damn, they are all over you. Like every checking, it's not like they just pour chips in the pot, the whole thing, and every combo is so harmonious, and every size, it's kind of the size your range wants to go. And they understand why, the mechanics behind, like, anyway, I'm rambling on and on.
No, but it's so fascinating because you're so right.
Like I don't. It's a tough conversation, but the World Series is marketing. They market it and they want you to believe it's the most prestigious stuff in the world. But then players are like, but what about this? And it just like is what it is. Like I just have no idea.
Yeah, Ali, you also play with a lot of those mixed games players that Nick mentioned at the top of his answer. Do you sense that the prestige of the bracelet is there among that community?
I mean, look, I think Nick is probably right because the 50K Poker Players Championship is kind of now in my mind, the crown jewel, the main. Obviously it's these humongous fields, and it's like impossible to even imagine yourself winning a main event and getting through that many players and playing that many days of poker. But at the same time, when you want to look at like the respect level that you would gain amongst your peers if you're one of these high rollers, I think winning the main, a lot of people will look at it and go, yeah, that's a hell of an accomplishment. But everybody knows that it's undeniable you're going to have a lot of luck getting to a main final table. And then obviously once you're there, hopefully it'll be a little bit more skill based. But with the 50K, I mean, there's no person that won a prize package parlaying a free roll tournament into a $5 sit and go, into a 20, into, all laddering all the way up, and then, coming down there and having minimal experience and then just punting off their whole stack to you. In the 50K, it's just a literal minefield. There's no safe places to step. And so, insofar as that community is most likely to play that event, and there will be a lot of prestige associated with that bracelet, I would agree. But I think in general, the amount of ambition and the amount of hunting for prestige that goes on is really at an all-time low. I think, not to take anything away from the World Series, it's not like they're doing something wrong in my mind. It's just that guys are focused on, the paper chase, and they're like, where am I going to get my money? And, the 50K, obviously it's really high stakes, and, up top, you're going to make a bunch of money. But even then, I'm sure there's guys who say, why would I want to do it? Why would I want to subject myself to it? So I think that's probably one of the reasons that things go down that way. When you have these conversations and people say, I'm not into it.
What do you say we wrap with a High Stakes Duel II preview of sorts? Maybe each of you can give us the angle, the aspect of this match that you're most looking forward to. And you might have already mentioned it. And Nick, we can start with you for that.
I mean, I'm very curious, kind of. I just don't know really how to put it. I mean, Daniel's going to come in there and try to kind of, he's on the heels of all this preparation that he did and stuff. But one thing you don't want to do in poker is try too hard. You don't want to keep trying to make the right play. You have to flow. You have to trust yourself sometimes in the moment. I think every player, especially every player sort of pursuing it from a studious standpoint and stuff, it's like, you have to be careful, because we have these discussions a lot. You got to get in there and kind of do your thing, get lost in the moment, stay loose. Obviously, you cannot not think about things you've learned. But if Daniel maybe tries a little too hard, and Phil is doing his weird kind of shit and adjusting and so on, there will be some interesting kind of spots unfolding. We'll see, man. I'm just excited to kind of see. There's a chance Daniel outplays him badly, gets it done, just kind of wipes the floor with him and runs kind of clean. And there's also a chance that he meets some odd resistance from Hellmuth, who does his goofy kind of stuff, his unorthodox stuff, sacrifices a lot of EV in a spot, but then maybe makes up for it in the grand scheme of things. We're gonna find out.
You looking forward to watching him maybe have a cheeseburger?
Yes, I am. Of course I am. I mean, I didn't know he was so neurotic, by the way. He said the reason he shoved it down his mouth instantly, he didn't want to get the Rona when not that, I get respect for the Rona, right? But he said he took the mask off, right? And that's why he just attacked it and then put the mask back on. Because he was like, I didn't want to have the mask off for a while. It's like, buddy, I mean, at this point, I don't think that's good. But these guys are all nuts,
of just choking hazards, right? So
it was unbelievable. I never saw a bite quite like that. But listen,
Ollie, what's the most fascinating angle of all this to you?
I think for me, it's Daniel coming straight off of having played Doug, and I think Daniel is in top form right now. I mean, people. Even though Daniel lost, and obviously there was some rage and some moments where it seemed like there was some tiltiness creeping in and some frustration or whatever, even Doug will tell you that from the beginning of the match to the end, he garnered a lot of Doug's respect, and I think a lot of people noticed that he really did hang in there. And results notwithstanding, he's a better poker player, I think, on the heels of that match, which is not far in the rear view,
than he was going into it. And now he's going to be playing Hellmuth, who, Daniel even said himself, he's like, dude, I don't think this guy's practicing. I don't think that this guy is actually, out there putting in the time and trying to train. And if that's the case, like Nick said, he could very well end up outplaying him badly. You never know. But like you said, Phil does these weird things, man. I mean, there's moments where Nick and I have been in the booth and looked at each other, hit the mute button, and been like, what is going on? And then it turns out, the laydown that he makes is correct. Is it correct from the standpoint of in the long run? Are you giving up too much of the pot? Probably, but the guy just ends up being right over and over. Where he made these heroic moves against Antonio, where you're looking up at the screen and going, how is this going to work? And he just gets the man to muck. And there's something to be said for that, right? I mean, so it will be interesting from that standpoint. But for me, the most fascinating thing is certainly Daniel being what I think is top player coming off his match with Doug, and who knows how much Phil is going to put it.
How was the bath?
How was the bath?
The bath.
Yeah.
Was it nice? Was it warm?
Jeff, don't do this, Jeff.
Okay.
I got a 4 p.m. late checkout if you guys want to come in here and just,
I'm on my way, buddy. Keep that water in the tub, the same water you were just using.
No, I'm going to drain it, bro. Don't be a scumbag.
You think Brent is kidding. He'll see you soon.
Yeah,
see
you soon.
He'll see you after the show. Gentlemen, Ali and Nick, thank you very much. We'll see you next Wednesday for High Stakes Duel 2. Appreciate the time as always.
Thank you, boys.
Of course, guys.
Hey,
Thanks for
honestly,
having
proud of
us.
you. The show's coming along nicely, guys. Honestly, good luck with everything.
Appreciate
Thanks,
that,
man.
man. Thanks so much.
Very much appreciated.
All
All
right.
right, there they go. Ali Nejad and Nick Schulman. They will be on the call for High Stakes Duel 2. Phil Hellmuth versus Daniel Negreanu next Wednesday night. That is March 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Poker Go. And they're going to be involved with some pre-show.
Yeah, we got the hype show. That's
Okay.
going to be on Monday, and then we're going to have the weigh-in and High Stakes Duel. The match, of course, starting at 7:30 with the weigh-in.
hype
and
show
High Stakes
airs
Duel.
on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Is that what I said? What did I say? Monday?
Yeah. You
Oh,
said
sorry.
Monday.
Yeah, airs on
No,
Tuesday,
just-
matches on Wednesday.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay,
So,
gotcha.
But you know what I love about that? You
The
sort of
bath?
see the
Yeah.
that's like authentic Ali,
Yeah.
right? The guy is such an animal, shows up, makes a little bubble bath. He knows he's going to just make Nick, put the hand to the face. He's driving him nuts. It's kind of like, I probably do this to you in ways, don't I? Yeah.
Maybe
that fair to say?
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a small percentage. Like I could sense what Nick was going through. And from a broadcasting standpoint, I'm not just saying this because they're on Poker Go and we're teammates of sorts, but it is hard to find a better duo within broadcasting. I'm not even talking about poker specific, but within broadcasting, these two are just one of the top tag teams.
I
out
would
there.
not even, with this show, with High Stakes Duel, if it's not Nick and Ali covering that show, then the show shouldn't even be done. They don't.
Well,
no
we
one
could
can
maybe
no.
step in and
No,
if
it wouldn't be
absolutely
the
necessary. Well, that's true.
It wouldn't be the same. They bring something, another element that you and I, we're the C team, they're the A team for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
And so who's B?
We do other shows, but well, I don't know. Sometimes we're as good as B.
Right.
Yeah, I just love it. I love the show, watching these matchups on the duel, a lot because of them and what they're going to bring to the, things we're going to hear fly out of Ali's mouth, and then Nick just lose it. And then, being there on scenes too, where they literally hit the mute button because they're breaking down a lot like you and I do at times.
Yeah, we do that sometimes too.
It is, it's special. I'm really excited for it next week.
Yeah, that made me even more fired up for High Stakes Duel 2. So, all right, let's switch gears. It is March. It is March Madness. How's your March Madness been over this first week or so?
Absolutely horrific. Probably much like most of you folks at home. I have one team left in my Final Four. Of course, it's chalky Gonzaga. I lost Purdue. I lost Texas. And I lost Illinois. And I think everyone in America probably lost Illinois.
Yeah, and you lost a lot at the sports book
God.
too. But
Yeah.
but what you lost, you gained in developing your friendship with Uncle Ron. We took a trip to Red Rock with Uncle Ron. Take a look at our journey throughout the day. All right, we are here. It is the start of round 2 of the NCAA tournament, and Uncle Ron has joined us. You gotta look sharp, I guess, right, for March Madness?
Yeah, we're a group of bookie busters from Kansas has arrived, and today our big bet is our Kansas Razorbacks +2. They're a 3 seed against a 6 seed, and they're getting points. I don't know what they're thinking.
That's just
I
math.
don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
The bookies did not look at the seeds when they made the line. They weren't thinking.
Who do you like today, Mr. Hanks?
Oh God, I actually like Arkansas. I like Illinois -7. I don't see how Loyola can possibly stop them. I don't know. Good read. I don't know, Jeff. I forget who I love. Can you hold Carl?
I love you.
I love you too.
And I love Baylor. Give me Baylor.
Oh, I don't know about Baylor, Jeff.
The points. Baylor minus the points. All right, fellas, what do you say we go in and we see how we do? Does that sound good?
They have Keno?
No, don't play Keno.
Yeah, I'm going to play a lot of Keno.
Do not play any Keno.
Yep, a lot of Keno.
You guys are very tall.
We're going to bust our bookie.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, my bracket is absolutely fucked. I had Texas and Purdue in the Final Four. They're out. I had the Bonnies, I don't know, like in the Elite Eight. They're out. And now I've got Illinois winning it all. And, well, how's your bread?
Great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's in great shape.
Yeah.
Thank you. USC, though, still alive.
Go Bonnies. Well, I'm at the bar now, John. I'm trying to get even with the last hour or so. I think Keno's probably going to bring me home.
I got the Badgers Baylor first half under. We need 3 or less points right now. 48 seconds left. White guy shooting free throws, not good. That's automatic points.
We're gonna dig out this hole, yeah. No, like I only lost 600, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We just have to find alternate ways to make money. Bet Arkansas Razorback.
It's such a big win that they're calling the managers.
Any other bets? Can I bet on Tiger Woods to win the Masters? He won 2 years ago. He got injured right in that car accident.
Oh yeah.
He's not available right now. We're busting our bookie on the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, we're playing the progressive while we sweat the game to chase our losses. Not working out great. I'm in for a few hundred units.
He keeps holding pocket jacks. He just needs to fold those and then just go for the progressive.
All right, so Brent booked us this spot at the Red Rock Sportsbook, and it's a fantastic spot. We have all the games on. It's amazing. Brent Hanks, though, he's not here. He's playing Keno, or maybe he's playing video poker, whatever he's playing. But he's not watching March Madness when he books us a spot at the sportsbook. I think we need to go check in on him.
He's been in the Keno pits for well over 3.5 hours, and I do not think it's going well.
You think we need to intervene?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go tackle him and pull him out of here, and maybe go to Casino Royale where they have more favorable odds.
No, I don't think that's the goal. I think we're just gonna try to get him to stop.
Hello, Ron.
What are we at so far?
No, we're about even, honestly. Not bad, yeah.
Even's pretty good.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to step away for a little bit. I brought you this. Your friends are here. Lauren's here. Producer Donna's here. I called Liz. She's on the way. Yeah. Have you watched a second of the basketball?
You could take this and shove it up your ass.
Very nice of you.
But you didn't hit all of them.
No, I didn't hit enough. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hit enough. I just kept feeding the machine.
So how much are you got?
I'm down 600. If you would have been there, that would have never happened. You would have never let me fight.
You would have.
You would have told me to play poker.
Well, that's true.
But I'm going after
How many
today.
times have you won in Keno over the last, let's say, 6 months?
6 months?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, probably 0.
Yeah, probably.
Ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, 0-ish.
So, Ofer on Keno for the last
Yeah, we made a hell of a
6 months.
comeback.
That is true.
Made
But
a hell of a comeback.
Not thanks to Keno.
No.
Not-
Poker actually worked out after all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we get to the cards?
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We can start with mine. My results. Let us see. Oh, it is quite nice to see some wins. How about Drake in the first 4 games? Got him. Liberty should have had Liberty. The missed tip in at the buzzer. That was the only time in the game that Oklahoma State was covering, and it was at the very end. Oregon State, just an absolute crush fest. How good has Oregon State looked? USC to win the West region is still live, and it is very, very live.
You're a
They
game
play
away, right?
Oregon in the Sweet 16, and then got to beat
2
Gonzaga.
games, yeah.
Just got to beat Gonzaga, though. It should be really easy,
fine.
right? It'd
You'll be
fine.
fine.
It'd be no problem at all. Iowa, they're out. Bye-bye. Next card, next page. Let's see it. There it is. Colorado just making the Pac-12 proud, except for yesterday against Florida State. But in the first round, that was a beauty. The Bonnies, we'll get to that in a little bit. USC covering against Drake and also covering against Kansas yesterday, winning by 30+. That was absurd. Abilene Christian with the outright win against Texas, and UCLA got BYU. Plus 1.2 units for me.
That's your first winning week, by the way, ever on this
Is
show.
it ever?
I think
I haven't
it's
won
ever.
1 week before?
I don't believe you have, Jeff.
I'll take it.
I don't believe you have. And if we bring up my card in just a moment, I
This
will
is
show
painful.
you my first losing week ever
There
on
it
the
is.
show. This is what, 9 episodes deep?
Yes.
Yeah, first time in 9 weeks. I lost a total of 4 units, which you can see. Not bad
Rough
here.
start.
Rough start. Yeah, rough start.
Got Ohio, though.
Ohio looked good. Bobcats
Ohio.
look good.
Purdue
And
to win the
it
tournament,
all,
yeah.
Not so much. Of course, I'm on my Bonnies. I'm very biased there. And by the way, LSU was way better than an 8 seed.
No
LSU was like
question
a
about
4
it.
or 5. These kids are great. Cam Thomas.
Yeah, there you go.
Cam Thomas is going to be a top 5 pick in the draft?
Absolutely.
For sure.
He's incredible.
For sure. Let's take a look. Keep on moving on. Yeah, there we go. The rest of the weekend played out. Not so bad here. I was very dialed in. I love Santa Barbara. Missouri, man, they just blew it against Oklahoma. That was a brutal game. Obviously, Illinois, wrong side there. Syracuse +4. I love Cuse. I love Jim Boeheim. Whenever Syracuse is a double-digit seed in the tournament, they're a lock for the Sweet 16. I don't know how they do it. Buddy Boeheim is an absolute star. Arkansas, the Razorbacks. I know Uncle Ron's team. You and I love them. We were all in Arkansas. Florida losing to Oral
What are you
Roberts.
doing,
I
Florida?
realize everyone loves Oral, but my God, how do you lose? How do you lose to Oral Roberts? They're a 15 seed now in the Sweet 16. Another fact, I'm not making this up. This is the most double-digit seeds to have ever reached the Sweet 16 in NCAA history.
Wow.
There's
Everybody
4,
loves
25%.
Oral Roberts.
It's probably what I said.
Everybody loves Oral Roberts. Yeah. Just threw in another
Overall, though,
word there
Jeff,
for clarification.
take a look
Yeah,
at this.
let's
I
do
am
it.
still up through 9 shows, almost 12 full units, so I am still winning. The Hanksy heater continues. It's not going anywhere. The Bonnies are out. I can now focus on the remainder of the tournament and the remainder of March Madness.
Okay, speaking of, let's get to our upcoming picks. I will start with some NBA action tonight. The 76ers -4 against the Warriors. I really, really, really like Baylor. They are loaded with NBA-type talent. Give me Baylor minus the 6.5 against Villanova. Houston, I'm a little weary betting against Syracuse based on everything that Brent said. Syracuse has been fantastic. But I like Houston to win the region, and I think you can get them at a fair price about a coin flip. USC, let's keep the momentum going for the Trojans. And Jordan Spieth, we're back, baby. Back on the Spieth train to win the WGC Match Play Golf's version of a little March Madness. Give me Jordan Spieth at 26-1.
You're always riding Spieth for all these events, huh?
He's going to win one. He's close. He's
Keep
close.
betting him. Eventually he's going to win. Yeah, I don't blame you. Let's pull up my card here for a moment. I'm all aboard Loyola Chicago.
God,
I think they just take care of Oregon State. I know Oregon State's playing their best basketball ever in the history of the program. I know the Pac-12 is outstanding right now as a conference in general. Loyola Chicago, unbelievable basketball team.
Yeah.
I mean, they dismantled Illinois from wire to wire. I mean, they just crushed Illinois. Baylor -6.5. Again, I'm going chalk. I just don't think the Villanova can keep up with Baylor. Their offense is dynamic in the way that they can extend that perimeter D. Villanova, no shot. All aboard the USC train with you.
Baby.
I love USC. I told you this. They are now my favorite team to watch. The Mobley brothers, my God, what a squad. Cuse. I'm against you
said
here.
it. Yeah.
I'm against you here. I just listen. And I'm a Bonnie's guy, which means I'm not even allowed to like Syracuse. But I love this team right now. I love what they're doing in the tournament. It's amazing that they play a 2-3 zone the entire game, every game since Jim Boeheim became coach, and nobody can seem to figure it out. It is a different sort of unique 2-3 zone, but you got to be able to shoot the 3 ball. I just don't think Houston's got it in them. I think they're going to try and grind them out. I love Cuse. Florida State +3 against the banged-up Michigan. I'm telling you, I know they look good. Without Isaiah Livers, Michigan is not the same team. Florida State is long, lengthy, well-coached, great defense. I think we see the end of the Big Ten this weekend. Michigan is going to be out the door.
Tell us a little bit about who we want to introduce to our show. Now, you're doing a fantastic job as far as any picks are concerned. You're plus more than 11 units. I'm doing a terrible job and down more than 13 units. Can we beat this? Explain this.
What we have here is Betcoin.
Oh,
all right. This is
fancy.
Betcoin. Yeah. Not to be confused with Bitcoin,
Nope.
but you want to ride the Betcoin train, baby, all the way to the gravy land. And what we're gonna do is, Jeff, we're gonna pick a side. Okay, we got the Chief, and we got the Buffalo.
Okay.
Okay.
And let's do for this game. We're gonna do one game a week.
One
with
game a week.
Betcoin.
Yeah.
Arkansas -11 versus Oral Roberts.
Oral
Roberts.
Okay,
The
all right.
school name.
All right. Chief gets Oral.
Okay. You're gonna show them.
Buffalo. Yep. Chief gets Oral.
Yep.
And Buffalo gets Arkansas.
Can we switch to the Hanks ISO camera right now so we can get a little? Yeah, there we go, fellas. That is
Chief.
beautiful.
And Buffalo. There we go. Okay, so we got as a producer
just
John would
heads
say,
and
most people
tails?
call it heads and
Yeah,
tails.
right. We're gonna go Chief, Buffalo.
Chief and Buffalo,
Okay, which
heads
side
and
is
tails.
which?
Okay, so again, Chief gets Oral, heads. Buffalo, tails. Okay,
flip the
you ready?
coin, yeah.
Here we go. We're gonna flip it.
Okay.
We're gonna flip it. Here we go. We're gonna keep track of Betcoin every single week. Here we go. That is heads.
Yeah,
that is
that's
heads.
heads. So
So
that's
that's we're on.
Arkansas.
No, I think we're on Oral.
heads gets Oral.
Chief gets Oral. Yeah, we're on Oral Roberts. God,
Plus
I don't
the
want
11.
to be on this side. Plus the 11. So that's
Okay.
all right.
Well, that's Betcoin side. So
that's
join Betcoin if
So
you
we're gonna
want.
we're gonna
We will
track it.
keep track of this. Heavy coin. This is very nice.
Yeah.
The show budget must have increased.
Made in
drastically.
1913.
Yeah, this is cool. All right, Oral Roberts plus the 11. We discussed St. Bonaventure losing a little bit earlier. I had the pleasure, might be a strong word, of watching the Bonnies game with this gentleman. St. Bonaventure, LSU in the first round. And Brent, this was quite the experience, huh?
Well,
and we knew it would be.
Listen, I'm so proud of this program, Jeff.
Okay, forget that.
I'm
Forget
so
that.
proud.
Just roll
okay,
it. Just
fine.
roll
the
it.
video.
Roll
yeah.
it.
They're giving Lofton a lot of space in that perimeter. Great take. Yeah. That's our boy. And one! Come on! God bless you. How's that not a foul? How's that not a foul? Going down. Going down. Good D. Good D. Really good D. That's all right. That's good D. Don't let us beat up. Let's go. Talent 2 halves. Yeah, well, it's a tale of 2 halves, right? Thank God there's another half we're going to play. Offensively, worst performance of the year. Our guards are not bad, and in fact, they're very good. I expect them to take over the game. We're getting crushed on the boards. Not surprised there. Defensively, superb performance. I'm thrilled.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, I'm thrilled. I think we have them,
level.
got them right where we want them.
First half.
Well, we could have shot the ball better.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't have shot it any fucking worse. But we're gonna take this thing over. Our guards are gonna be good. We're gonna frustrate LSU. They're in foul trouble. I like a sloppy game. St. Bonaventure wins sloppy games. We're gonna win this second half.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to the round of 32. This is Western New York, man. Like there's nothing about us. We're not pretty. We're sloppy. We're ugly. But we get the job done. We work hard. We're gonna grit out a win. Let's go. Let's go! Really tough ending. You feel bad for the kids, especially, all the starters and Kyle, who is the general. But the journey at St. Bonaventure continues for all of them. And this is something you reflect on and you never let go, and you thrive for next year. The Bonnies are coming back, and they're coming back in a big way. The season doesn't end in March, Jeff. It ends in April.
Right. But what does that have to do with
Next
the
year.
future for the Bonnie?
Because next year it ends in April.
Okay.
How did you miss that?
I did not follow the whole rant, but
It's a fucking beautiful statement.
I still don't get it.
Because they're gonna
the season
cut
ended,
down.
and then you said the season doesn't end in March; it ends in April. But the season ended in March.
Next year,
Yeah.
the season will end in April.
Right.
For the Bonnies.
Okay. Got it. So, national championship for the Bonnies.
I'm talking. We're going to the Final Four.
Oh wow.
We're going to the Final Four.
Final
We're going to
Four.
relive the 1970s.
Thank you to all of you joining us in the YouTube chat. Wisco Barron says, if Aquino addiction isn't rock bottom, I don't know what is. That's a fair point. Also says, the way he's dressed, Hanks must have thought he was going to chop trees in the Poker Go studio.
Well, I mean you
that
never
is-
know. Whenever
yeah.
you need to get some firewood, it's
That's true.
awfully chilly out
he's
here
ready
in the
to go.
valley.
We went with the fall approach for
This is
this show.
Our autumn episode.
Yep.
In
It is.
March.
Let's see where our autumn DGen of the week is in March. And Brent, let's start with the parlay spike.
Please.
Let's start with the absolutely massive parlay spike.
Is
How
it true
about
that
this?
my dad sent you this?
Yes.
He told me
Dave
he sent
Hanks.
you this.
Dave
yeah.
Hanks sent me this on Facebook. This was a money line parlay, 10 teams, $10 to win about $33,000.
Oh
Let's go
my
ahead and take a
God.
look at those teams. And this is the celebration video, sorry. And then we will look at the teams. I mean, and why not celebrate when you just won more than $33,000 off a $10 bet? That's absurd.
This dude had a chance to hedge on the final game where I believe Oregon State was playing Oklahoma State.
Maybe
against
like plus
Kentucky.
210 or something.
I mean, he could have locked up guaranteed money and just let it ride, man. That's the absolute degenerate of the week right there.
He could have locked up $23,000 off that $10
Unbelievable.
bet and was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for $10K more with the underdogs in Oregon State. That was
Incredible.
absurd. There's the list of teams, and it's just amazing. It's Abilene Christian, it's UCLA, it's Arkansas, Loyola, Oral Roberts, Baylor, Oregon State, Villanova, Syracuse, and Houston. I saw his ESPN interview. He's like, didn't really give it much thought. Basically just clicking buttons.
Yeah, do you
I
know,
mean, that's what we do.
let me tell you about Oral Roberts.
Okay.
Do you know that you can't even dance in
Yeah.
public there?
Yeah, that's interesting.
What I mean, what is this, like the 1940s? In like, where are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is
that's,
that?
That's
how
weird.
is that even a thing?
I don't know. I mean, I probably, would not
Why
choose
would you
to
ever
go to
wanna
school
go to
there. But
college
yeah,
there?
good basketball program.
Now they're in the Sweet 16. That
yeah,
shows you
party
what we
it up.
know.
Party it up. All right, nominee number 2 for DGen of the week. And let us know in the chat what you think. I mean, this was an interesting one. How about 10K on a 1 seed money line in the first round? So this is Gonzaga against Norfolk State, betting $10,000 to win $66.
Hey, there's a lot of things I would do for $66. This isn't it.
Yeah.
My God, this is just a sick flex, right? Someone
I
saying,
think it's like, oh, look at me, 10K
hammered in
cash
the
on
book,
me.
to win
well,
66, and
Huh.
then you're gonna get on the internet, and sure enough, it worked. Because here we are.
That's pretty degen, I would say, in a sense. What do you think is the more degen of the two that we just showed you? And if you're in the chat, let us know as well. Do you like the parlay guy not hedging on that 10th leg of a 10-teamer? Or do you like betting 10K on Gonzaga money line?
Is
as
this
far
really
as
even
degen of the
close?
week?
Is there anything degenerate about this? Like this game, Gonzaga's never losing to Norfolk State. You're never risking that 10K, right? Whereas that kid had all that money on the line. He
23K
could
off
have
a
hedged
$10
it and
bet,
locked
yeah.
up 23, and he let it ride for another 10. I think this is not even close. Parlay guy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's parlay guy, certainly, when you add in the cash out element of it. Although 10K to win $66.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. No, producer John asked us if we saw what
was
his
the living room
looked
like?
Okay,
yeah.
And
So
implying that he looked like he needed the money, that he
that
needed
10K can
20.
buy
That was
a hell of a
producer
nice
John
couch.
talking, not us. Just FYI on any living room decor out there. All right, I think that does it for this week.
I think that's a wrap, baby.
Okay. All right. So next week, it's big time as far as March Madness is concerned. Will be a day prior to High Stakes Duel 2. We would like to thank you for watching. We'd like to thank our crew. Special shout out to Jessica, producer John's, the aforementioned producer John's wife, who is stuck with him every single day.
So sad.
All day, every day. But not only that, she's dealing with an ankle injury of sorts. John's not the best dancer.
From
and he must have
dancing.
He must have stepped on her foot, something like that. They did one of the jump things, and it didn't work out well for
graceful.
Jessica. So
I
we
can't
hope that
imagine.
Jessica
I've seen
gets
John swing a golf
it's
club.
shocking.
What could go
absolutely.
wrong when we're trying to do a little ballroom dancing in the living room?
Absolutely shocking. So Jessica, we hope you heal up and that you get better soon. We would like to thank Ali Nejad and Nick Schulman for joining us once again. Special shout out to Uncle Ron for hanging out with us at the Sportsbook. That was a blast. And Cousin Kristen, missed you this week.
She's going to be back next week. We're going to get the KO pick of the week. We're going to talk a little bit about Final Four. And by the way, I mean, we're open to suggestions for guests. Let us know in the chat. Who do you want us to reach out to bring on to No Gamble, No Future? Who do you want to hear from? Let us know. All the comments. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Like, subscribe, and Jeff.
Do it.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit, baby.
That's true. It's No Gamble, No Future. We'll see you next week.